So going into this game, it's going to be FXO Sheth versus ST Rainbow. This is the fourth match of the day. It is Week 2 Division 1, and we have a Zerg versus Terran. Starting map is going to be the Shattered Temple.
Yep, Rainbow did get cheesed out a little bit from Mao's Marl in week number 1. A lot of people talked about the lag in that game. It was undeniably there. Unfortunately, Rainbow probably should have paused the game, as we could not, and wait for it to pass. But, it's not entirely his fault, obviously. He doesn't necessarily know all the procedures of what to do in these foreign tournaments when lag occurs. But the point I'm trying to get at is Rainbow has to be hungry. Koreans are very proud of StarCraft 2. They do not want to be losing in foreign tournaments, but really in any tournament in general. It could have been a Korean opponent for all he cares. He does not want to lose. And in week number 2, he's got to surge back now. Unbeknownst to him, I can't imagine he knows too much about Sheth. He has got his hands full.
Yes, indeed. Indeed.
Well played.
As Sheth is one of the powerhouse Zergs of the North American scene. He's performed quite well recently. I would say his best win comes off of not only Artosis, but also QXC. He was able to take out QXC in the MLG Dallas. He has a pretty fierce Zerg vs. Terran, and I'm really looking forward to see how he matches against Rainbow, who is, one of my big, I am a big fan of him, but one of my big heroes of StarCraft 1.
Yeah, legendary Protoss player, now playing Terran, known for his micro. We talked a lot about him last week, but really, guys, Rainbow is one of those guys that you can talk about all the time. He's worth it. Just a fantastic player. And unfortunately, we didn't really get to see it next week. The games were shorter. He got, Ling cheese in the first game, and then game 2 actually kind of Lings again, but eventually with the Banelings. Sheth doesn't necessarily opt for that. I don't see a whole lot of Baneling buffs out of him, especially on a map like Shattered Temple, where I don't feel that the map necessarily lends itself to that. But we kind of talked about this in the pregame show. We do see kind of Roach play out of him. Roach Baneling support. Another Zerg that does that is Root Slush, also in the North American Star League. And that's a bit of a different composition, especially in Korea. The typical ZVT is Ling, Mutiling, Baneling. So it'd be interesting to see if Rainbow is able to, A, identify what's happening fast enough, and then B, respond to it. Now, of course, it's not a guarantee that we're going to see Roach Baneling, but that's just a tendency that we happen to know about.
Now, it does look like we're going to be seeing a very fast Command Center coming out of Rainbow. He's doing the Command Center before second depot, which I really like. I think it's much stronger than the Command Center after the second depot. And off of this, he has a lot of different options. Now, he has to cut Marines. I like this one Marine pressure. He's just going to come up and try to pressure up. He does have a second Marine in queue that is on its way over. This is going to force Zerglings, which is very important, of course. But off of this, very fast first and second geyser can be taken if he wants to. He could be just massing off of, yes, that's what we see. He could be massing off of just barracks units, but it's for map control. It's really nice to get some Hellions out.
Yeah, some Hellions.
Some Hellions.
Rainbow did push forward, kind of felt out the situation, and is now backing away. A little interesting. I feel like he could have done a bit more poking. He did definitely see the timing of that spawning pool, but probably just playing it safe. I mean, we did just not long ago see TLO make the same mistake in reverse, in the sense that he attacked for just a hair too long, committed just a little too much, and even just 8 Zerglings can do so much damage in what was to become the series of comebacks there for Mara, for Pete's sakes. Now, factory is going down for Rainbow, and I feel like it's a pretty quick factory.
Yes, indeed. I mean, getting this factory up, again, it's just going to get map control. And when you mass on Marine Hellion for this beginning stage, it's very cost efficient. Zergling Banelings or going mass Roach, it's going to be cost efficient no matter what you do. Now, Sheth, he has to play a little bit defensive. He doesn't know that this expansion is up quite yet. He doesn't know that it's going to be coming, and he's going to have to sacrifice an Overlord because of that. This Overlord, we can see, is coming in, checking out the place, seeing what timing is what, and what his opponent could potentially have. And I really like this play.
Yeah. Now, Rainbow is being active in the middle of the map. 5 Marines. Doesn't seem like much, but it does force a reaction out of the Zerg player. We see the Spine Crawler rooting itself into the ground at the front of the natural. Rainbow did poke forward, probably incurring a reaction. Yep, 2 Zerglings in production. A little bit of a tickle from the Spine Crawler. And I want Rainbow to be a little bit more careful. He's hovering around out here. Now 10 Zerglings in production. This could be like a throwaway 5 Marines, I suppose. A really weird choice.
Yeah, I don't like this play.
I hate to be critical of such a legend, but I really don't like that. I mean, nice Marine micro, so making as much of a plus out of that as he possibly could, but he got no information. Just saw Spine Crawler and Zerglings. Well, okay, let's go ahead and check this vision real quick. Did he see? Nope, he didn't even see the morphing lair.
Nope,
so, quite honestly, just a waste of units.
And Sheth is looking really far ahead. As we can see in the Sheth cam, he did see the starport and the tech lab on this this factory. So instead, actually going siege tank in siege mode. And Rainbow, it's going to take so long. We can go on the income tab. It's going to take so long for him to get out. He is hovering on the same income just because the double mules. But still, Sheth is looking absolutely perfect. Yeah. As he's now going a Spire Tech, and second, third, and fourth gas are going down as we speak.
Yeah, and I kind of like this, actually. The Roach Warren, if a scan does go down directly on top of that main hatchery, if you will, it'll reveal the Roach Warren, but what's going on above it is the Spire. And if that scan is anywhere appropriated in that area, it will not see the Spire, which could throw off the read from Rainbow. Now, both of those are moot points if there is no reaction, or he just kind of blindly addresses mutas anyways, because they are so standard. But we finally do have Rainbow moving down, taking both the gases, are queued up, tank is siege, and there's a smattering of Marines down there. Engineering Bay is complete, so he is in position to start building those missile turrets, and they do build in just about the blink of an eye, so everything could be well timed for Rainbow right now, and he could be sitting totally fine.
Yes, finally taking that expansion. Now, I'm interested to see where Sheth's next expansion is going to be. I would like it at this gold expansion, as he doesn't have to get so many harvesters to be able to populate this. However, it is a lot more prone, and if Terran takes this crucial positioning right here in this middle area, the sweet spot I would call it, then it could be very difficult for him to hold his entire base. And we do see that Rainbow is prepping up. I mean, this is an early siege tank count that he's getting up. So he's going to have a much stronger push if he pushes at the same time, or he'll have a very preemptive push if these mutas don't come out in time. But thankfully, you can see mutas are out. This one Viking will be picked off. 4 mutas out for Sheth, and he's going to have a little bit of map control for this time as these mutas start to arise in numbers. And there are no Thors, nor are their stim or combat shields up for our player Rainbow.
Yeah, but I do like that Viking. I think that gets pretty good advanced information on the mutalist count. You don't usually see someone make like 5 mutas and then switch to something else. Typically, it's going to be a pretty strong commitment to mutas. I mean, of course, as I say that, I have to catch myself just a little bit. It is just the 5 mutas. That'd be really funny if you did do exactly what I said you don't typically see. But the missile turret did range out that mineral line. Marines pushing forward. It looks like they will chase off this mutas, who were big dog in that starport, if you will. They were just... if Rainbow just completely forgets about it, I guess they kill it. But part of the Zerg's job is to be annoying, too. I mean, yeah, if he doesn't react to that, okay, then he does kill it. And he also gets information from that aggression, so that's nice.
Absolutely. On top of that, the gold expansion, and it does look like Sheth is taking about down the top left expansion wall, or at least the destructible rocks. So he's going to have 4 base very easy and very accessible to him. On top of that, he's going to have that timing where Rainbow really cannot compete. I mean, the amount of units Rainbow has isn't enough to defend against 3 different locations. And this command center wants to come up ASAP, but I just think Rainbow is in a lot of trouble with this growing muta count coming out. Actually, take that back, because Sheth looks like he's roach switching and getting glial reconstitution and centrifugal hooks up immediately. So he might be transitioning to mass ground.
Well, yeah, he's actually still building some units, though. We do have 2 in queue, and there is a few over here at their rally kind of point. He is mixing in some roaches, which I do like. You do want a base of roaches. And if you look at his money, it's hovering around, 300, 300. So you can afford to kind of smatter in the roaches and a few mutalisks like that. It's important to maintain a pretty good number of mutalisks, though, because you want to have that ability to say, oh, your tanks are alone, or hey, there's a drop at this base, I'll go smash it with my very fast reactive mutaforce.
Yeah. And now we can see Rainbow wants to take his gold expansion. This is very advantageous for him, as Gold expansions are super effective for Terrans, as Marines are a great way to spend all your money. Now we can see these siege tanks are caught out of position. One tank is going to go down. A second one looks like no, it's not going to.
Oh, Sheth, no.
He runs into a lot of bunkered Marines and missile turrets.
Yeah, it was looking awesome, and then like a sandwich that you find a worm in, turns out to be bad.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Let's eat worm
That's
sandwiches.
really disgusting, actually. Really disgusting.
Yeah, it is actually. One time Anna was sick, my girlfriend, and she asked for a cookie, so I went and got her one from the kitchen, brought it up. She took a bite out of it, and a mealworm was wiggling outside the other one. She actually upset me, like I planned that or something.
Well, if you're trying to give her tapeworm, she didn't have...
Mealworm, not a tapeworm.
Well, I'm just saying, if it was tapeworm or something, she wouldn't have to go on a diet.
Oh my god.
It's always Sunny in Philly reference, actually.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Hunger Force, too. Anyways, back to the game, I suppose. Baneling's Roach is being produced in the middle of the map, and I actually really like Rainbow's play. Very reminiscent of Brood War, just kind of crawled over to this high-yield expansion, turtled it up, missile turrets. It is an orbital command, so it does need that static defense there, and those tanks range out the ground army, as well as the missile turrets covering for the air. Double engineering base in the base of Rainbow allow for fantastic upgrades, and now he's actually adding the infrastructure. 3 barracks in production, as well as a few more missile turrets to make sure that they're safe. I really like this. A Terran on a high-yield 3 base. They can take on a 200 supply army.
Yes. And they can approach 200 very fast, but you have to remember that these gold expansions do run out quite fast, so you have to be careful. Now we can see Rainbow is being pressured by these mutas. These mutas are going to be able to deny some of these spy depots. However, oh man, actually this Marine tank force is coming around, and Sheth is not going to see it. Sheth's not going to see it for a while, and he's stepping onto the creep. This is, oh no, and Sheth is going to mobilize immediately, going to catch all these tanks off guard. The Zergling Baneling force is just smashing through a Rainbow, and that is a huge...
That whole fight took like 4 seconds. I'm not even kidding. Like,
I know.
Oh, there's a Terran army. I guess I'll just go walk into it. Like,
yeah, that's...
It got smashed. And, I mean, against that composition, you have to crawl your tanks forward, you need Marauders,
and you do not attack on creep. That is a huge hit. And Sheth is in a commanding lead. As we can see in the units tab, he is looking mighty fine. Having tons of units, still has a lot of drones, 81 drones to 62 SCVs. And we can see back in Rainbow's base, he's just on mass defense. He has no choice but to do that.
I mean, another command center is in production. If you look at the barracks, there's 3, 4, 5 Marines queued up in all of them. So a lot of production will be entering this field. He is keeping his money fairly low. So he's definitely in a position to come back from this. And actually, after that last game, I believe in anything.
Wait, a huge drop, man.
Big drop. Doom drop coming.
And, unfortunately, his Marines move away at the worst time possible. And it does look like Sheth is going to have a huge, huge drop. As a lot of Roaches, Zerglings, it's just Roach and Zergling, but he's just moving in. He's not dropping it. Oh no, he loses.
Yeah, last 2 Overlords essentially for free, but it's more the positional damage.
Yeah.
If you look at lower or mid the map, I guess that natural, it's being harassed by mutas, being delayed ever so well there. And actually, these Marines are going to clean it up pretty quick. Another Overlord does go down, and a 3rd Overlord, or actually a 4th Overlord goes down right there as well. So Rainbow doing the best with what he's got. But if this goes on too much longer, I mean, the top left is being saturated, the top natural saturated. It is 5 base Zerg versus 3 base Terran.
Yeah, and that's not the position you want to be in.
No,
I know
tough.
that.
Especially after losing that army, too.
We're going to see Ultras pop out, I'm sure, momentarily, as right now is, yes, we do have the Carapace level 3 coming up. Actually, Greater Spire and an Ultralisk Cavern being
You'll see everything.
created.
You can afford everything.
You literally, if you have 10 gas, it's like LOL, let's produce any hive unit we want and just win the game.
Right now.
Win the game, man.
Yep. Now, when you do lose that army, though, I think I like what I'm seeing. A little bit of a drop at the top of the main again, but I feel like that's pretty uneventful. Overlord's going to go down. Worst flight ever for those Roaches. They're definitely going to be calling the airline. Overlord Express. I don't know what else you'd call it. Mila's trying to fight these Marines. Not a good idea. They go down as well. But if Rainbow's going to claw back in this game, he's got to take advantage of the Terran stack defense. He needs to make sure that he secures a 4th and perhaps even a 5th sitting behind a wall of tanks and good bio. And that can actually take on anything. Now, of course, he's got to be afraid of the Broodlords talked about Broodlord, Corruptor, Infestor, and there are Infestors on the field. Not a lot, mind you, but there are some.
There's a lot of Banelings, though.
Yeah, that's a lot of Banelings. I mean, you just can't attack against this, is the bottom line, though. You have to stay at home, and you got to macro up so that you can eventually outlast
62.
it.
62 Banelings. That's a lot of Banelings.
I would have made more. I'm just saying.
Okay, you're pretty handsome.
Banelings are awesome. Mutaforce has been thinned out, and it's not being remade, so I feel like that's what it's going to look like for the remainder of the game. A lot of Infestors, though. We do now have 6, and as you said, 62 Banelings. So, again, this army you cannot attack against. Another couple of Overlords are being loaded up, presumably for kind of a mini drop on the main. I like this. That drop allows for the Terran player to basically have to stay on his toes, but Rainbow is being moved up here to remove a bug problem he's got. There's a couple of Overlords pooping on the deck, which would make it a poop deck.
Aww.
Yep.
Aww. But, okay, so what does Rainbow have to do right now? He needs to just max out in 200, get his upgrades up, and then he's relying on a huge push to win him the game. That's really what he needs. That's the only way he can win this. As taking half the map against a 5-base Zerg, what's going to happen is the Broodlords are going to finally come in. We do have 2 Ultralisk Caverns. Oh, and I like this. 2 Nidus works. Or, excuse me, 2 Ultralisk coming up, and additionally 2 Nidus networks are up as well. Right here we can see this is the play I love. So we're going to see Sheth probably denying the 6 o'clock positions the entire game. And that's all he needs to do. He can just have fights come to him rather than him going to them.
But don't tell Sheth that's all he has to do. He's pushing forward. Bailey's trying to get into that bio as best they can. And they are going to be successful. He will not be denied. The Infestors dropping Infested Terrans, but they're going down just about as fast as they get warped in. And now, it's just the Infestors put out huge fungal growth on that bio. And they're gone. Now the standing army is just these weakened roaches and the Infestors. And
more?
Oh, no!
He's going to get 2 more?
Oh, no!
Take out most of these.
If he gets 1 more, they're all dead. And
yeah. That's it. And there goes most.
Sorry, okay, I got excited again. The game does not rely on that moment, but
no. And with a blink of an eye, 14 Ultralisk being made, 200 army, 34 Zerglings, and 2 Infestors. This army is going to be remaxed in the blink of an eye, and there is no way that Rainbow is prepared for this. 14 Ultras.
Careful. We gotta be careful.
Okay, there is very little way that Rainbow might be able to possibly defend against this maybe incoming attack. Do you like where I did that?
I know. He's got a lot of tanks. Set 8. His bio is sitting at 3 attack, 2 armor. Nidus Worm, 12 o'clock in the main. Not seeing a reaction. He's got to land those Vikings.
Shaggy.
The SCVs.
12 o'clock, 12 o'clock in the main and the 6 o'clock position. And
I
think
get that one.
It was just a diversion, like Legolas would say. A diversion for the bottom. No, not Admiral Akbar.
Admiral Snackbar.
What?
Yeah.
What's going on? Ultralisks. Now, oh my gosh. Jolly Green Giants coming over here, but instead of green being purple.
Jolly Green Giants? These guys are way cooler than that. And they're just cutting it up. Bailey's in tow. Okay.
They're hungry, man.
Maybe you're completely right.
They're hungry.
Don't see this getting stopped. Well, they're thinning out a little bit.
They are thinning out quite a bit, but that's a lot of position to be losing, and on top of that, it's a lot of tanks to be losing. So, I mean, look at the bottom middle. It's going to be denied yet again.
Pick it up.
And what is going to happen?
There it is.
It's going to be an instant remax from Sheth pretty soon.
He needs to, though. I mean, Terran supply stabilized at 164. I feel like he needs Infestors. Like, the Banelings were kind of supposed to do what the Infestors will do.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're not. The Nidus Worm did go down to those Vikings. Another one is immediately going up inside the Bane of 6 o'clock.
And Sheth is actually drying up, man.
Sheth doesn't have that much money, dude.
Sheth is drying up.
Look at that. He's at 135 supply, not remaxed, and he can't really afford to.
Yeah. And, actually, Rainbow might be in pretty good position now. These 2 Ultras trying to attack the Destructor Rocks, they're going to be like LOL'd as these Marines just wipe everything up.
I think actually Rainbow is in commanding position. It would be nice. I mean, his high yield is drying up. Okay, natural is drying up. Main has dried up. So really his only healthy base is bottom right. But if he saturates 6 o'clock and starts leaning towards... Yeah, look at this. I like this. He burrowed the lings. And that's actually so cute. How smart is Rainbow? I mean, I don't want to put his intelligence on the line, but if he scans, he's super smart. Okay, so those lings will be there. And what that essentially acts as is they can spot for more Nidus Swarms, but also they can just harass the base in and of himself. Now, Rainbow looks like he's thinking about attacking.
Yeah, he does have drops coming out. Vikings are going to pick off these 1Z, 2Z Overlords over here. And meanwhile, it is going to give him a little bit of room to take this drop over here and place it. We do have a good amount of units in here, just Marines and Marauders. But Sheth is already with Infestors, Mass Infestors, and a couple Zerglings and Ultras. He's just going to actually let it drop. I like this.
Dropping the main's not that big of a deal. I mean, unless, like, yeah, he'll kill a barracks or two and some add-ons, but as long as Rain responds, I don't feel like it's that big of a deal.
Yeah.
And, okay, so, no, never mind. I see what you meant by drop. You meant the Terrans dropping the Zerg.
Yes.
I'm quite silly. Yeah, I would not like it if Sheth went ahead and dropped the main. Now, Sheth is still not maxed, and he's not banking money. He's hovering around 200 minerals, and that's a really bad sign. If you're going to be remaxing, you want to be sitting at, hundreds and hundreds of, or thousands of minerals, really. A little bit of a weird drop going on at the main of the Zerg. There's
They get cleaned up very easily.
Well, the evolution chambers are completely upgraded, so that was never going to do anything.
Yep.
Infestor, 6 o'clock at the main. Oh my god, a big fungal growth, and again, the whole Battle Force gets picked off. Ultra is sitting at 30 health. He needs to get out of here. He's really not worth dying at 30 health.
Yeah, and
but
keep in mind, Rainbow has a lot of money banked right now.
He does, 4,000 minerals.
He can be pretty efficient with all of this. Now we can see Medivacs are over here going to get picked off from an infested Terran, or from infested Terrans. And these infestors are pretty dangerous. However, a lot of siege tanks. Oh no, Sheth! Moving into terrible position.
Way too committed there.
Loses all of his infestors and his ultras. This is not looking good for Sheth whatsoever. I thought Sheth was so far ahead. Finally, quite late actually, making this Broodlord Corruptor army count. But he needed that a lot earlier, as he's only on basically 3 bases. They are pretty healthy, though, I do have to say.
They are, but he's, his units are expensive. That's why he's not banking money and able to remax. And look at this, as a moment of sloppiness, he's going to lose 2 infestors and an ultralist for free. I think he intended for them to go in the Nidus Worm and get the heck out of there, but they were left behind. Now, he does have Broodlords in mass in the middle of the map, and these are the GG units of the Zerg army. If you're able to protect these from Vikings, namely in Thors, they will kill everything.
Oh, and they're going out in the middle of the map, though. Oh, I don't like this. Okay, he's going to have a lot of his units accompanying. Now, he does need infestors with this. He only has a couple of them.
They're waddling over. There's 5.
But he is maxed. He is maxed. And remember, all he has to do is deny 6 o'clock position.
Dude.
Many Broodlords, yes?
That's a lot, and there's a lot of supply tied up in tanks.
Ooh.
A lot of supply.
Yeah. Especially so. And now, oh my gosh, the friendly fire is just destroying Rainbow. He's killing himself.
He has to unsiege. Vikings
nice fungal growth. But he's moving with his... I don't like he's moving with the ultras.
Yeah,
finally, the Corruptors are able to defend against everything. But these Broodlords are just doing way too much damage.
Unsiege your tanks, please. And now there's a lot more Vikings in the field. Again, a few more fungal growths are stopping them in their tracks and even killing them.
Nice.
But this army has opened the path. Sheth's still not banking or maxing money, though. Oh, you know what? They're dropping at 12 o'clock.
Oh, wow.
We dropped the bizzle on that one a little bit. That base is so important. And the hatchery is getting target fire. Big fungal growths do go down. Do they save it? No, the hatchery collapses. Meanwhile, those Broodlords are getting cleaned up, surely, slowly but surely. Vikings and Marines pushing forward, and they will die. And suddenly, Rainbow, I think we can definitively say, is ahead.
Yeah, he is quite ahead, I would say, as he still has money banked. Keep in mind, he doesn't have a lot of gas. Gas is really sparse for him, and he lost a lot of tanks in that.
He's not mining bottom right, which is kind of silly.
So if he switches yet again, if Sheth switches yet again his army composition, he'll look really nice. And if he keeps up this army composition, he can be pretty effective. Now we can see in the units lost tab, Sheth has definitely been on the receiving end, more so as he's been down 45,000 resources worth of army, and Rainbow's only been down 31,000. So Rainbow being a lot more cost effective. However, Sheth still has the extra base, and that could be all he needs right now to be able to get back in.
Yep, and it looks like Rainbow is actually making his way over there. He does want to take the main base at 6 o'clock. Again, such methodical play. He's really not interested in attacking, which is funny because he did this attack that we thought was really poorly executed, really aggressive. It gets smashed, and he's like, well, I'm never doing that again. Screw that.
And he just defends the entire game, takes the side of the map, which is intelligent of him.
It is.
And now Sheth.
Huge aim.
Oh, no.
I don't like that.
Sheth,
the wings are going to flames. And these tanks are so well spaced, I feel like it needs to be another Baneling attack, but don't tell Sheth that because it's going to be Ultraless. Ultraless marching over, and here we go.
Oh, no. Fungal Growths go off on the Marines.
Big Fungal Growths, but is it enough? Ultras marching forward.
Oh my gosh.
And there's a huge Viking force actually coming over, and the Thors. Thor is here. They're going to clean that crap up. Holy crap. Thors don't take too much of it.
No.
I said crap 3 times. I actually suggested the 3rd time, but I said it twice. The Thor don't mess around.
They DPS the Ultralists quite efficiently if they have the 250mm strike cannon as well.
Did he use that?
I mean, really, no, he didn't. He didn't even need to, man. He didn't even need to. And Sheth on the back foot, man. Now finally the main for the 6 o'clock is being taken by Rainbow. And Rainbow is looking in fantastic position.
He's all over the place. These Vikings are hunting around for those spotter overlords. He's had enough of the Nidus Worm. Does not want to see any more of that crap. He's dropped a bunch of mules at 6 o'clock. He's again banking money at a max position. He's now taking the gas at the lower right-hand side, so he did check to see why am I so low on gas, and has found out that is indeed the reason. He's even optimized, the command center there did not serve any purpose, so he removed it. Ooh, I'm looking at a fusion core. I'm looking at battle cruisers.
Oh yeah, battle cruisers are on the way out right now. Where are those starports? Where are you, starports?
They're at his natural, where it used to be.
Oh.
Whoa. Battle cruisers. As well as the Behemoth reactor, so he will have the Yamato cannon, which is one of it's the final boss of siege tactics, is the range on a super concentrated nuclear weapon essentially.
Ooh, and we do see 2 Nidus Worms in the main, and now that's going to be picking off all the production. However, there isn't a lot in here, and the battle cruisers are moving in. Ooh, and I don't think there's any response to battle cruisers.
Oh, well.
If he closes the Nidus Worm and kills that off, he's going to be sitting really good, but these Marines are just wiping everything out.
Sheth. I said earlier, I just don't see what this does. He kills a couple barracks, okay. He's not going to win this fight. He doesn't have an answer for those battle cruisers. And what did this fight do?
Yeah, it doesn't do much, and now Sheth again has to back up. He doesn't have the army composition to deal with anything. He needs to get Corruptors out on the field, but he doesn't have time to get them. I mean, his minerals and his gas are really being spent so hard. Now boiling down to just 2 base, it looks like, the top left and the top middle. And Sheth just not looking good whatsoever.
Well, the map is completely split, and Rainbow is on top of his game. 3 attack on the mech, 1 armor. Bio is fully upgraded at 3-3. And let's check on those starports. He does have 2 armor on him, and actually 2 attack as well, so he's upgrading everything. Battlecruisers making their way to 12 o'clock. I think he knows at this point in time there is no answer, and actually with this cloud of Vikings, I don't know if there ever could have been one. It would have to be like Hydras at this stage, and that's the 1 upgrade.
Well, you could do Corruptor and Infestor.
Oh my god, Yamato cannon is so cool. Did you see that?
I missed it.
Alright, well, that's okay.
Just feel silly.
It was beautiful. There'll be more. Hydros Den is going down for Sheth, but that's greatly delayed. And right now, these battlecruisers are just frying the Zerglings. It is the most healthy base. Big fight in the southern part of the map, but I feel like there's a last-ditch effort. Sheth pushing forward, but all those tanks, even with Infestitarians in between them, are just doing too much damage.
Yeah, and going to be cleaned up immediately. Rainbow in fantastic position, now killing the 12 o'clock position. I can't see Sheth being for this StarCraft game too much longer, as he has no income. He has the top left. His income is down to 340 per minute. Not looking good for Sheth.
It's only top left.
Yeah.
It's the only base with any minerals whatsoever. Sheth is hanging on here trying to what just happened? And I feel like we just saw the most methodical cutting apart in the NASL history. We could say that thus far. I mean, just Rain doing Rainbow, there's just never a chance for him to lose this game after a certain point. Like, he just was like, okay, well, I'm not going to... I won't attack, but you're actually not going to touch me. So
yeah,
we'll see who comes out on top on that. And Terran's actually done that exchange for years. That's been one of the tactics, if you will.
Special tactics.
Oh, my God. So it's like 35 minerals and 16 gas, unmoving for Sheth, sitting at 124 supply. Meanwhile, Rainbow is for all intents and purposes, maxed out, banked at 3K. He, too, is not bringing in too much. He is down to the 1 base. We literally could see all the minerals on this map mined out. But Rainbow has to know that, actually, it's time for him to attack.
Yeah.
I
can't see
a lot
him
of danger for him not to do it.
I think he's in a position where he can literally
Sheth wants to
mine
attack.
out the rest of the map and he'll be fine. Now, finally, the last attack.
That's it.
Fester's going to be cleaned up immediately. Hydralisks just destroyed. And GG from Sheth. Rainbow's going to take the first game.
That was a long game.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Battle.net to tell me how long that was. 43 minutes.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad.
So thanks for tuning in. That'll be... No, I'm just kidding. Let's just go into game number 2. Let's talk about it in the next...
Let's
let these guys start.
Because knowing them, we're going to have like 30 minutes to talk,
Yeah.
and then some attacks are going to go down. So tune in.
Seriously.
Game 2.
We'll bring you guys game 2 later.
See you in a little bit. All right. So going into game number 2.
Marathon number 2.
Marathon number 2. ST Rainbow against FXO Sheth. They're going to be playing on Terminus Re.
Good, right? Because it's like a quick aggression map.
I heard there's less expansions on that map.
Not a lot of expansions. The rushing path's so short. You know what? Close positions could save us from this. No, I'm just kidding. They're still bad, actually.
Yeah. By bad, you mean not far, not the players. And I do want to say, just going back on my words a little bit, I want to say, Anna, I don't mean you're fat whatsoever. You're very skinny, and you don't need tapeworm.
Anna is a beautiful, beautiful young lady. Uncontrollable on Team Liquid. She did some coverage for Kingston HyperX at MLG, and actually, she did such fantastic work that there's a lot of organizations that are looking to get her more involved in esports. So, Anna Prosser, uncontrollable.
I just wanted to say that because I said, she wouldn't need a diet if she was on tapeworm.
I'm so tempted to just let you stew in here right now because there's so many women that hate you. They're like,
no,
you don't need a tapeworm.
No, in the bottom right or bottom middle position, we have as the blue Terran ST Rainbow.
Oh, now you're not going to talk about it? No,
mid right position, we have the purple Zerg. Spawning in as FXO Sheth. Now, a little bit of last game. Let's go ahead and talk about that. Let's open a can of worms.
Right.
Let's talk about that.
Awesome game.
Yeah, pretty good.
Really
all right, so game 2.
Well played, actually. I think that's the only funny thing you've said so far. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I know. That's my humor, though. I have to come back with something like over the top me and then apologize about it. I really like that he didn't go over the top on the battle cruisers. You only need like 2 or 3 of them, but they're so sturdy and so difficult to kill. The role they accomplished is you need to make Hydras to counter these 2 battle cruisers. Mm-hmm. You cannot make Corruptors. I have too many Vikings. You cannot just fungal growth them. It'll take 19. And that's not a scientific number. I have no idea. It takes a lot.
4.
No way. To kill a battle cruiser?
Oh, I thought you meant the Vikings.
Shut your
mouth.
Vikings.
The Vikings it takes 4,
well,
man.
Of course.
Don't give me of course.
I liked that choice. I really liked that, he made a terrible mistake moving out that army. Mm-hmm. Like we were joking, it literally died in 4 seconds, I think.
Yeah, it couldn't have been.
Not even making that up.
Couldn't have been that much longer.
But then what he did is said, okay, I lost my army. I have no ability to continue attacking. I'm going to fall back and defend. And yes, it took 43 minutes. And yes, it was painful to watch. For those that want. Well,
it was great
awesome.
for me.
It was glorious.
Yeah. I mean, but, Rainbow played phenomenally in that
great
game.
Play. Yeah.
But let's be honest, and joking aside, he incurred a huge loss. I think he got a little cocky, to be honest. He was like, okay, my opponent, he has such a weak muta count. I don't think he's macroing that well. He doesn't know much about Sheth. And he was like, okay, I'm just going to attack move. Went into position, and Sheth was like, LOL. But the problem is, I mean, for all you Zergs out there that want to know how do they beat that unit composition, it's not actually the unit composition that gets beat, it's the tech switches that force a bad unit composition. So when you're in a mass tank, mass marine, and I see a lot of tanks, I say, okay, I'm going to snap call a lot of, Infestor, Corruptor, and mass Brutalord play.
Yeah.
And that's a great response.
Ooh, fast Roach Warren.
But, I mean, once they go the Mass Vikings, then you can go Ultras, and your Ultra Zergling is really strong because they don't have a lot of tanks. All their supplies in their Vikings. So there's a lot of back and forth tech switches that you can do that becomes very cost efficient. We're going to see. But going back to game number 2 now, the Roaches, I don't know if they're going to be able to do a lot. He was able to see the one command center, I do believe. Let's go ahead and check. No, he didn't. He didn't see it. Excuse me.
And he saw the no gas, though. So you have to know that with the no gas, that's most likely a fast expansion.
Yes.
Or barracks harass into fast expansion. But in either case, I feel like the Roach first here is a bit of a read. So, I mean, if he's expanding, a lot of Zergs like that anyways. If he's pressuring, it's the same. The Roaches will not die to those Marines. Now, I really, really like Rainbow's play. This command center is not in a hurry to get down there. It's right now just making extra SCVs. It's more energy for mules. And in fact, there's already a bunker with 4 Marines at the top of that ramp. Yep. And he's made no read. If you check his vision, he does not see the Roach Warren. He did not see Roaches. He's just knowing that in this game 2 with him up 1-0 in the short best of 3,
and he
needs to play safe.
He gets a scan, sees the Roach Warren, so that's a big tell. He's gonna push out much later, and these Roaches aren't gonna be able to do diddly squat.
But there are 7 drones in production behind this, so I feel like, fortunately for those of you who are rooting for Sheth, we are not seeing an all-in right here, because I feel like that would be very poorly timed if it was. He is just going to go ahead and macro behind this, but these Roaches, what they essentially do, and the way they function in the game, is you can't expand right now, and if you didn't take me serious, you're dead.
Yes.
And that's good. I think that's really well played by him.
These barracks can be sniped. So this is really nice for him. He's actually going to be shelling out damage, or aciding out damage, onto these barracks.
What did you say?
Aciding?
What's that mean?
It's like acid spores or something. Acid saliva that the Roaches shoot.
No, I'm just kidding. That's awesome. That's fine. I would have said the same thing.
Yeah, aciding.
And actually, okay, now Sheth has to get back home. He's not managing this very well. The Marines are going to pick off a 3rd Roach, and I feel like they're dying for repair cost on a barracks.
Yeah, it's not
a good
worth
exchange.
Now I can finally see gonna be getting more SCVs to repair that. But still, I mean, Rainbow is in good position, and Sheth hasn't taken a 3rd.
Ooh, a Spore Crawler is up.
Spore Crawler?
In his mineral line already.
Yeah.
We do have a scouting overlord at the back of the base for Sheth. Now let's go ahead and see what he sees. He does see the barracks, and he saw the tech lab on the factory, but nothing else on the starport. Yes. And interestingly enough, there is a reactor, so the Spore Crawler is just a little bit out of place. I mean, he is playing safe in that sense, so...
Well, there is a build for Terran vs. Zerg where you get this fast command center, double refinery, and then get 2 starports and start dishing out a lot of Banshees.
Yeah.
And you can do, if your opponents don't catch it, you can be dealing a lot of damage, as most Zergs don't make anti-air that early. So, I mean, kind of nice.
Yeah, big drop loading up here. And actually, if they continue on their flight path, they're going to go right past an Overlord, but... Sheth doesn't have a lot. He's got 7 Roaches and some Lings, which are now being paired out there.
He sees it, though. Oh, he's not reacting whatsoever. And these Marines and Marauders are going to be dropped off easily, and he still doesn't know what's going on. Finally gets into position, but this might be a little bit too late. As Rainbow gets behind these mineral lines, and now getting behind the spawning pool. Might pick off the spawning pool. He's targeting it down now. The Zerglings get a good surround, but he's going to be able to take out that pool and retain all of his units, or most of his units.
That's okay, though, actually. The danger in that fight was the ground army just being stronger than what Sheth had, and picking off the spawning pool is an inconvenience for sure, but it's manageable. I mean, look at how many Lings Sheth got out. He does have command over this drop, as long as he's in the right place at the right time, which he's actually slow to react. And that Spire is exposed!
I know.
If he gets over there and snipes, it'll be so bad. Now, the Spire you don't want to have delayed. That's his whole grasp on the game. And Sheth's actually really non-responsive.
Oh,
I'm
here
not
it
sure
comes.
what's going on. There's the drop. But
Drops.
focus on the Spire.
Oh, and it is. Immediately.
Yeah, it's gone.
It's gone. He has to cancel that. He does. Oh, he doesn't cancel
He
it.
didn't cancel it.
Oh, what a huge hit. And that's the problem with opening up Zergling Roach in the beginning stage. You have no response to any early medevac play. And we can see that the early medevac play is just crumbling Sheth. As another drop, same units are going to damage this back
And
area.
he did get a little greedy. He tried to pick off that queen. But that's the first mistake of these 3 drops with the same group. They picked off a spawning pool and a Spire as well as a few other units. They're trying to kill the queen. That was their only failure, and they're going to return home heroes to the Terran Dominion. Rainbow, again, showing why he is such a big name in Korea, playing so safe. 3 bunkers, which actually might get salvaged here in a moment, but 2 tanks siege up on the cliff. Third base is going to be taken pretty soon here, putting him at equal basis with the Zerg. Now, Sheth, don't count him out just yet, especially after we saw that Morrow series. We know the Zerg is really, truly never out until they leave prematurely or are killed, I guess, as in the case of the last game. Drop making its way to the back of that third base again.
The same units. They're working overtime, man.
They are. I like this hidden expansion left side of the map from Sheth. That base should not be scouted for a long, long time, I feel.
And this is, I
oh, another drop in the
completely
main.
agree with you.
Okay, this time, good reaction.
Oh, and he keeps dropping.
He drops. That's not good, right? No, okay, yeah.
No.
I needed to consult my Terran player on all the things that were dying.
Yeah, losing units, not good.
No, Jeff, it's not. Here's a cookie. Now, the command center has been delayed at that third base, so it's not optimally mining because the creep was reluctant to leave. Now, Sheth actually balancing himself in a pretty good spot here. Mutalisks are coming out. Actually, if you look at the production tab, everything's coming out. Does he have a Baneling Nest?
No.
I don't like that. If you look at his money, he's got enough of it. You really should have it on deck.
Well, what he's doing, instead of going to Banelings, he's getting the upgrades. That's where he's putting his gas towards. So he's actually...
Oh, he does have a Baneling Nest, and he does have the hooks.
Oh, he does?
Never mind.
Where?
Quite bad of us. Next to the Spire and the
right.
Evolution Chambers.
Sorry, I'm blind.
Well, I did the same thing, so we're both bad. We're dumb.
You're so stupid.
You're so stupid.
Whatever. Rainbow gearing up. Rainbow is just gearing up for this mid-game timing push, although he doesn't have a lot of tanks. I'm not seeing a ton of tanks on ground. We can see in the units tab.
He's not good at attacking, man.
3 siege tanks.
He's building a command center. He's not going to attack.
Oh,
This is the series of never attack. I'm serious. He's going to push out to his 4th. He's going to siege there. And I wouldn't be surprised if he takes the 5th in front of Sheth's base. And Sheth has to know this. He can't be happy with the way the last game went.
No.
He's got to want to make a billion Banelings and just crack this when he tries to take a 4th.
I couldn't agree more, and we do see Mutas moving over to the main. He might be looking to pressure on this third base, but the third base is pretty well secured. And now Rainbow pushing up here, looks to be taking this expansion, but as soon as he sees this, as soon as Sheth sees this should be a snap call to go and attack with these Zerglings and Banelings. He is streaming in so many more units. He has 2-1 right now, attack and defense, whereas these Marines are only at 1-0. So these the Zerglings and Banelings are going to be much stronger.
This time he only has 75 harvesters, so he's not
much better.
Yeah, he's got a big army, and it looks it too. He's got a huge Ling Baneling force.
Oh, and I love this. Moving back here with the Mutalisks. It's baiting units backwards. Now, some Marines and Medevacs are going to have to come back here to defend against any of this. And it looks like Rainbow isn't doing any of what I just said.
You don't care, man. I would actually rather that these reactors go down from Sheth. I'd like to see him target fire the reactors, because that really slows down the Terran production. And Rainbow is actually completely non-responsive until just now. A small force of Marines does make its way over there. Now, at the end of the day, refinery died, a couple missile turrets, and maybe a depot. Not that big of a deal. And, you know, of course, not a big deal for Sheth either. He did lose like a Muta or 2 killing those missile turrets. But what I do like is that there's now even a second, I guess what we can call is a hidden expansion. And the reason we're going to call it that is because the natural bases, the smart bases, the quote-unquote smart bases would be the top, away from the Terran. But these expansions function as taking money away out of Rainbow's pocket.
Yeah.
If this becomes a split map situation, these bases are being mined right now.
I love that. And Sheth is, I think because of that, he is kind of ahead in this position. However, we do see, he's going over for a huge Baneling bomb, I think, on to his planetary fortress. There are 3 tanks here, but I don't think it's going to be enough. And we might be seeing a Baneling bomb pretty soon. Nope, Sheth's going to prove me wrong. All right, I feel so.
There it is. He was just waiting for you to not talk about it.
Oh, and it still kills it.
Yeah, no problem, man. Instantly, it gets remade. Rainbow is not banking lots of money. He is just about max, but he's still hovering under 1,000 minerals. Yeah. So that's the good news for Sheth. Now, here's a weird thing. Marines pushing forward. They got to be really careful. In fact, I would love it if there's 3 or 4 infestors out in the map, and there are. As I say that, there's the one. But I want them gathering mana and allowing for the situation like that. One big fungal growth, boom, boom, 40 Marines dead.
Goes the dynamite. Yes, and we do see that Rainbow was able to clear out that back. He's trying to get us get it back up yet again. But the big thing is, Rainbow actually pushing out. So this is the big fear I have for Sheth. And Rainbow being very bold, moving up onto the creep.
No, I don't like that. He's gonna get
I don't like this at all.
And the Bio's kind of stimming around, moving around. Tank's still in position. Actually, Sheth's showing great patience.
Oh, no.
Drop at the expansion up there. Oh, look at those fungal growths. And all the Marines perish under 2 fungals and some Banelings detonate on the rest. Big drop in the main, though. And the production of Sheth is getting... I almost said... Well, I'm going to say pooped on. It's getting pooped on a little bit. Infestors on A move, and they get popped as well. That has been thinned out, but the main tank force goes up in flames. And Rainbow is actually losing his army here, but it's going to be a question of production, Greetor.
Everything gets cleared up, and now it looks like this one hatchery in the main will be picked off. However, all the important things, such as the Roach Warren, the spawning pool, and the Spire is still up, and Rainbow going to make it out of there, but losing the 4th. Keep in mind, Sheth is still on 5 bases. That is a lot of bases to be on. He still has the economy to go off from this.
Although it's not up, it's been killed.
Oh, excuse me.
Just a quick note, he only has the Spire and the spawning pool. Now that's good.
Ooh, that was me, sorry.
And he does have the Baneling Nest. He also has the Hive, so he's in an okay position. But he's got to do some rebuilding. If you look at that production tab, it's a lot of Lings, some Infestors, and Banelings being produced. Now, I think a big problem for Rainbow, he's actually in the middle of the map with another army.
Oh, no, and his army's split.
That's going to be... He can't handle that.
No.
You can't touch this.
No way.
MC Hammer would make a song about this if he was still in the studio. In fact, I think he already has.
Bing, bing, bing.
It is hammer time. Another big drop in the main, and this time they are going after those critical buildings. Spire just go down. Spawning pool being targeted, and that as well will fall to these Marines. Now they're targeting the Evolution Chamber, and I believe they will be denied. And 2 do pick up, a Marauder and a Zergling. But that's a huge production smash into Sheth. And Sheth is actually low on money, not quite sure how. He's sitting on so many bases.
Well, he doesn't have a lot of drones actually on the minerals, so he's not pulling in a lot of income. We can see on the income tab only 1,700 a minute.
Drop on the left side of the map,
so it's not too much. And now we can see, oh no, Rainbow is just going to see it for the first time now. He doesn't know that's happened.
Oh, here come a couple of those Marines are actually following the bunker, I think. Hey!
Hey, what's going on?
Supposed to be on that flight. And there's the worst thing you can ever see is actually a fortified Zerg base. That's the worst thing to find. Now, Sheth's got to rally here a little bit. Trying to find his production. Spire is going down. Ultra's Cavern as well. I assume... Excuse me, a little bit of hiccup attack there. Please let me cast hiccups. Actually, never mind. A big drop heading towards the main. Two medevacs full of units. Meanwhile, a drop behind the minerals over at that secret base on the left side of the map. The main hatchery will get sniped again, as well as, I believe, the Evolution Chamber. Yep. And this time it's important. That one had plus 3 melee on it, and that's a huge hit.
Indeed, and Sheth's economy is getting a little bit ragged. He isn't having, or he doesn't have the minerals flourishing. While now his opponent does have 50, just about 50. Will go in the income tab, 50 SCVs, and having that many SCVs, just a small amount, gives your army a much stronger composition, because you can, I mean, you can't reproduce as fast, but you're going to be a lot more cost efficient with all of your attacks.
Drops.
And just keeps dropping everywhere. Rainbow.
Yeah, he's everywhere. And it's because he has that easy access to the main area, but as well as, I mean, this is the danger of those hidden expansions. Yes. We were singing the praise about how smart they are, but if they're scouted, they're easily attacked. And here we go. That one's going to go down with little or no opposition at all. And if he loses this other one, he's got to feel like he's in a terrible place. And that's why we see his whole army swinging over there. His tank will get left behind.
Poor tank.
Meanwhile, look at these. The main again. That hatchery will get sniped, I feel like. Okay, there we go with Rain. Actually, he's going to target fire the Baneling Nest first. Perhaps the Evolution Chamber. If he goes for the Evolution Chamber, it is literally seconds away from +3 carapace, and that is such a big hit. Poor Sheth cannot buy himself a break, and the infestation pit is actually a big deal as well. You need those infestors.
And Banelings are going to swoop in, kill every single one of those.
It's got 47 health.
Unfortunately, these two medevacs look like they're going to stay alive. All right. So Sheth. Now, keep in mind, Rainbow is thinning out in terms of minerals and income. However, you know, Sheth has the ability to take a lot of expansions, and with that, he can stay robust to all of this.
They switch roles, dude.
Yeah.
Sheth's just defending now, man.
Yeah.
I'm serious. He's just not even moving. Doesn't care.
Oh, and we can see another drop coming down into the bottom. However, Sheth, he's all prepared.
He's right there, buddy.
He's like, LOL, drop.
He's going to clean this up, too. Yep, and there it is. Instant reaction. No problem.
Oh, my God. Too many Banelings, though.
Yeah,
what is he doing with these Banelings?
It could have been, but still. And actually, the Mules need to get over there. There we go.
Oh, look at this. Holy guacamole. Rainbow is splitting half the map again.
With tanks, literally.
Just pouring down so many tanks.
How many tanks does he have?
Let's go to the units tab. 19 tanks.
Okay.
That's pretty accurate.
I like it.
But still, I like this play. Sheth taking
every base.
Exactly. And that's what you need to do, because he can say, okay, take half the map. I've been mining off yours for quite some time, LOL, guy.
And look at this. Rainbow's going to push forward, but not sure that's a good idea. And
no, the fungal growth, fungal growth.
Don't wait for it.
No fungal growths go off.
I should be excited right now, but there's no fungal. Big attack, though, and those tanks and their merit have been tested. Shelling out raining damage down on the Zerg army, and the Zerg army is actually gone. But with these infestors, I feel like this base can always be defended. And that's kind of what they represent. Here goes the bio. They're pushing forward. Where are those infestors? Where are those infestors? Fungal growth.
Oh, okay. Nice fungal growth.
I've seen better. It's pretty good.
It's a pretty good fungal
man,
growth.
infestors keep dying in every fight, though. That's the thing. Because their casting range is so short,
yeah,
I feel like they die almost as much as they do, you know, they die every time they do that fungal growth.
Now you can see Marines know that there's no more infestors over there with a nice big stim, and is now going to take out all of these units. We can see in queue, there are a lot of Ultras and Zerglings coming out as we speak. Picking off all these siege tanks to friendly fire. This one infestor gets in here and is going to shell out a couple of these infested Terrans just to force a little bit of friendly fire.
Yeah, but he lost so many Zerglings in just a couple of volleys.
Yeah, that was unnecessary, without doubt.
Rain's coming out on top here. I gotta say, Sheth, yes, sitting on paper tons of bases, but this I guess you can call it main on the left side, is heavily saturated and very exposed, and it looks like Rainbow is going to go for it, and that might as well be the guttural. Well, not necessarily. Okay, the game's not over at this point, but that's a huge blow.
Yeah.
Sheth has spent all his money. He is almost remaxed. Mules getting popped out of this base and are sniped. I mean, one thing to point out here, if there is a glimmer of hope, Rainbow is drying up, and he's down to only this 4th base.
Yes. And it's very hard for him to push. He's going to have to, again, defend up. There's no other option for him to do anything else. He needs to just sit there and be like, okay, there's no way I can take my 4th, or my 2nd base, I should say, too efficiently. I need to just calm down, not do anything. He does have 50 SCVs still, and he has a lot of idle ones actually over here.
Single Broodlord on the map. It is a good unit, though, I suppose. It looks like Sheth is kind of, or not Sheth, excuse me, Rainbow's kind of taking a position to take that main base, kind of replace it.
Big drop.
Yeah, that's a huge drop, actually. That's
actually, multi-places.
This is like the not a drop of old, man. This is every base getting dropped at the same time.
does look like the 12 o'clock is under fire. These Marines are going to be cleaned up. However, there are drops coming around everywhere.
Oh. And even in the middle of the map, I mean, Sheth is everywhere to clean it up. A little bit of a late reaction. It's 12 o'clock, and unfortunately, that's where all his drones are. So that drop does get cleaned up. Now, again, okay, so yeah, he lost some drones, but he still has the bases, and he can remake those drones. Rainbow, on the other hand, sitting at 175. Look at his money. He's got less than 100 minerals, and it's not necessarily because he's spending all of it. It's because he's only bringing in half as much money as Sheth is per minute.
Well, he has five working mineral lines right here, and this constitutes, I think, is only 4 more over here. So he has 9 mineral lines that he could potentially work off of. That is not a lot whatsoever. Now we can see a little bit of an attack on the 12 o'clock position, but I think Rainbow's harass is thinning out quite a bit, and it's like a role reversal, as you said before, from last game. Now it's Sheth defending all game. He's going to be efficient. He's going to be coming out on top, I do believe, as he is in quite a bit of an advantage. I don't think Rainbow can hold that 9 o'clock cluster expansion.
Big, massive drop in the main of Sheth. I mean, this is actually the entire army. Not literally, but it is most of the army for Rainbow. And it's all bio, unfortunately, so if there are any infestors here, but I'm looking around, and I gotta be honest, there's the infestors. They're making their way over there, but not so speedily. Main does get sniped. There is 2 infestors there. Do we get the Fungal? Massive Fungal does go down, and the mules are here as well. And that's it. That whole Bioforce gets cleaned up in conjunction, or not in conjunction, but by the mutas in conjunction with the infestors.
Yes.
And that was a huge, huge loss. That basically represented the last of Rainbow's attack power. If you look at his army, it is almost entirely tanks, a Thor, and some bio now. He cannot do those drops any longer, which means he has now got to play the defender, and I don't know that he can do it, Gretorb.
No, a ton of Ultras are moving over to the left side of the map. He knows, Sheth knows, that this is the only place where Rainbow can be expanded. There are no other locations, and he is being shelled out a little bit. These siege tanks moving over very aggressively. Big Scan goes down, sees all the Ultras, sees the infestors as well. And I think, I mean, right now there's a lot of room to get Broodlords, and I think Broodlords would be a great continuation for this.
Man, if Sheth lets this map get split, I think that'd be a huge mistake. Just, you know, again, we're armchair quarterbacking it here just a little bit, but he has the stronger army.
Yeah.
He has the better macro, but as we speak, Rainbow is dropping mules on that expansion. He's taking the other one, and he's poised to take the main as well.
Yes.
That's 3 new bases for him in the blink of an eye. If Sheth lets him do this, that would be a huge mistake.
Well, right now, Sheth has a lot of opportunity to attack all around the place. He has the main to attack, which is really left open. Rainbow doesn't have any defenses in this huge arc, and it's very problematic for him, but we can see Rainbow is exposed in this expansion. Muta's coming over here and will be attacked, and at the same time there is 16 Zerglings that are trying to drop in, but I don't think it's going to be too successful. SCVs have to move offline, but I mean, really, it still poses a huge problem. Rainbow, if he takes control of half the map, we can look at the units lost tab. Again, Sheth has not been too cost efficient with his army, and now might be moving over the huge tank Thor line. This is not looking good for Sheth, actually, now.
I'm pretty uncomfortable with this. He's actually, if you look at his army, he's just completely just sitting there. It looks like he's in the process of losing all his mutas. Yep, there they go. They lose to, actually revealing quite a good, not Phoenix, but Viking count, which means you might not want to opt for Broodlords unless you're going to have heavy infestor support, which he does have. He's got 9 infestors. But I really don't understand Sheth's decision here. He literally is sitting back. He almost assured himself, I mean, he did, actually, in scouting out all those bases. Okay, he has taken all those bases, and I'll let him take them. I hope this is just some kind of plan in the grand scheme of things, but really he could have attacked and probably ended this game.
Yeah, I completely agree. And now, I mean, Rainbow in good position. He's Sheth just trying to see if he can push in, but not going to be available whatsoever. Now going to be shelling out more damage on this expansion. We can see Rainbow just bank Terran. He is banking so much money, 4,000 minerals, 2,000 gas. There's nothing. that Sheth
Weird
can
poke
really
in the middle
do.
of the map too.
Ugh, yeah, I'm not liking that whatsoever. But he does have a Nidus Network out. He can Nidus Network to the mid-left position, which would be super cost-efficient. I think that would be really nice to just deny the entire 9 o'clock. However, we don't see him doing that just yet. Sheth just playing idly with these lone mutas.
Yeah. Now, the mutas did kill a whole bunch of SCVs there, and I think that was more Rainbow's poor reaction than anything else. But the game has slowed down tremendously here. We do hear the sounds of a Nidus Network being loaded up. Nope, those are Overlords. I feel like this could be the same mistake he made last time. Drops at this point, I'm not quite understanding. Yes, there's a fearsome tank line in front of this base. I understand that, but you know, as a Zerg player from days of old, I prefer countering like towards the main, and if you look, it's completely open, by the way, and using that as your disruption tactic, so that when the Terran has to unsiege and go respond to that, then you go hit where the tank line used to be.
Yeah, that would be, I think, most advantageous. Now these Vikings getting over here, sees the Overlords, and sees the 4 Ultras, the 5 Ultras, and the 4 Infestors as well. These Infestors are going to, in conjunction with these Siege Tanks, are going to take out a lot. Nice fungal growth goes down, kills all these Marines very fast, and it looks like the entire line is going to be cleared up. And this is what Sheth needs to do, keep this cost efficiency with just a small group, small raids, and now he's coming in, killing all these, well, not going to be really killing much stuff. But
Burrow the
it's going to
Infestors,
be,
man. That's what I'd love to see.
yeah.
Burrow the Infestors and just keep doing this all game long to shut down these bases. The Infested Terrans are targeting down that well, actually, they're just kind of sitting there, never mind. But they actually do a lot of damage. And I think these Infestors are actually just going to be wasted, and this is the kind of stuff that gets under my skin a little bit. You burrow these guys, they can fungal growth and Infested Terran all game long, or leave them above ground and 600 gas disappears for nothing.
You have 10 Corruptors on the way out, so we might be seeing Mass Broodlord's Corruptors. He's just freeing up supply, and there are a lot of siege tanks, I do have to say.
Well, he's got to use it as a timing, like get them to unsiege or die if they want to stay sieged, and then you got to attack with a ground army at that time. If you don't, then I feel like it's yet another opportunity wasted, and Sheth, I mean, last game, if that's any indicator, doesn't want to be split map with this guy.
Yes, and Rainbow, again, just playing very passively. He does finally see that, hey, Sheth is taking my base.
Yeah, he's not happy about that.
Get out. Get out. That's what he's saying.
Out.
But this hatchery is going to be cleared up momentarily. And now the Broodlords look like they want to be coming over here. There are a lot of Broodlords out here. 8 Broodlords, and not a lot of anti-air for Rainbow whatsoever.
It's only 2, yeah. And they instantly get fungled. Caught in a tough spot. Corruptors will go ahead and clear those away. Not seeing any other reaction. A couple Thors are waddling over there, and actually that's got to be the least of Sheth's problems. If there's no Vikings, which I'm not seeing, then he's got to be in fantastic position. Big fungal there, too.
Yeah, insta-fungal growth, killing every single one of these Marines. Now, Thors are not too cost-efficient against Broodlords.
Tanks are on siege, though. Why aren't we seeing an attack? I'd love to see the Ultras come waddling in and confuse the attack of these Thors, but actually there's so many Thors that I think they will be able to kill these Broodlords.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will.
And now the Ultras finally moving into position. 1 fungal growth goes off, killing a Thor. Second Thor is down immediately, and now this tank wall is going to be fungled. And Ultras do a pretty good job against all of this, as every single one of the tanks go down immediately. And it looks like Rainbow's going to be denied this 9 o'clock position, as there's just too many Broodlords out for Sheth, and not enough anti-air to deal with any of this.
Yeah, there's more Broodlords already here, and yeah, there's actually no anti-air. I mean, it's just the Marines. And yep, Sheth's going to take this game. I mean, it's down to this one base mining, and it's completely exposed. It's kind of a formality that it's still there. It's about to be killed. Meanwhile, there's a Broodlord force that I don't see stopping. Marines moving underneath these Broodlords. Of course, as I say that, it's when they get stopped. Damn it.
You're so stupid.
Yeah, the Vikings picking them off. They are doing a lot of damage, even so. And here comes a huge lane force, and here's that counter. Nope, never mind, it's going to go for the army itself, and that's fine, too.
Yeah.
You actually can't make a wrong decision at this point in time, unless
Fungal
Sheth were to randomly leave. He's like, man, I just simply can't get you to leave the game. I quit. GG, well played, and he leaves.
Yep. But Rainbow, GG's, and there we have it.
I wish I could be excited about that, but I'm actually... Marathon!
All right, so we're going to go straight into Game 3. because we'll have 40. We're gonna have 30 minutes to talk about game 2. Let's go ahead, get into game number 3. It's ST Rainbow against FXO Sheth. Hey, we're good.
Okay.
Game 3 coming up in a moment. Alright, so game number 3. This has to be the shortest series we've ever casted before. ST Rainbow up against FXO Sheth. This is going to decide it. Crossfire SE, Zerg versus Terran. And historically speaking,
You
I
about
think
to
it's...
jinx it?
I'm not going to say anything.
Please don't.
I'm not going to say anything. I won't say anything. I refuse to say anything. But, I mean... We just saw Morrow take out TLO in this recent match
We did, Greetor.
on Crossfire SE. So tell me a little about Game 2. What you think about that?
Well, Sheth had me really worried. I feel like he was in a commanding position for a large part of that game. And, I mean, one thing I guess I want to encourage a lot of the Zerg players back at home, and this is actually a common theme with the Terran. We see them very often load up the majority of their army in medevacs and drop them in places, and what they're counting on is the Zerg being hyper-focused on that event. So they're going to each of those drops and they're thwarting it or they're absorbing it, and then they're saying, okay, where's the next one coming? But they're basically playing on their heels. What I would have liked to have seen is Sheth getting that information saying, you know what? His main is completely vulnerable.
Yeah.
I will run in 46 cracklings and just shut it down. Because the army with that many tanks for Rainbow is not mobile. They cannot be everywhere at once. It relies on what's produced, and it relies on the bio. And I was worried, because for a while Sheth was like completely comfortable with the map being split. Those drops were doing a lot of damage, but eventually, actually, Rainbow ran himself into the ground.
Yeah, and a part of it also was the fact that, a little bit of lag spike from Rainbow. Excuse me. But we did see last game that I was a little worried for Sheth as well, because he went...
Look at this.
Oh no, it's like Rainbow doesn't like Crossfire SE apparently.
Well, he does. He just likes to do the same build on it. He did this against Morrow, and, you know, tragically we did have some lag in the game. Not that I'm entirely sure it would have mattered. And look who's done their homework.
And Sheth definitely has done his homework, because he spots out this crucial barracks.
SCV actually has to pull off that barracks, and that is a huge hindrance. And now, Sheth's just going to be annoying.
Yep. That's all he has to do.
SCV's got to play keeper.
Oh no. And we do see this other SCV is vulnerable now. Oh, we need to get out of there. This one drone is picked up.
Aware of what's going on. Spawning pool is about halfway completed. Now, we saw TLO open up very similar. Of course, his barracks was not as far forward. But the way this functions is that, of course, you don't have to win with this strategy. It's not an all-in, unless you grab all your SCVs. What he can just do with this is force an overreaction from the Zerg and fall back on a stronger economy.
Yes. And as well, he needs to retain his Marine count. I mean, Marines get better as they get higher in count, proportional to Zerglings. Zerglings, they need their space, you know? They need a lot of space, and now we can see 2 SCVs are along with it. But again, if he just retains his Marine count, it'll be absolutely fine. And Rainbow, I'm telling you, man, he doesn't like this map.
Look, interesting. It's like it's Korean lag on this map specifically, and that's the double bunkers going down.
Yeah.
Sheth does have a stream of Zerglings coming out, though. That's actually 8 Zerglings, and that's more than Rainbow can handle.
But this bunker is perfectly positioned. And I think Sheth needs to throw down a spine crawler if he wants to keep up with this, or he needs to cut the supply from Rainbow, because he cannot keep this. And now we can see, these 2 Marines don't dish out enough DPS. They're going to be taken out momentarily.
Bunker is up, though.
But I love this play by Sheth, just cutting the supply completely. These 2 Marines can't come forward anymore.
Yeah, he's just going to make
You shall
more
not
Zerglings.
pass, sir. You shall not pass.
Now, a command center is being constructed inside Rainbow's base, but again, one of the big questions here that we're seeing If he loses all these Marines, and there's a lot of lag, we actually probably should pause this. Yeah, I'm gonna. Well, I don't want to do it as a ref.
Yeah, you can't do it.
He's not pausing it, so I don't want to disrupt his play. There's the okay, so there's the pause.
Right.
We're going to give it a second, let this lag kind of calm down. It's been flawless the previous 2 games, and nothing's changed in between, so hopefully this is just a rainbow.
Yeah.
Not a rainbow, excuse me, like a blizzard momentary lag, you know.
Mm-hmm. But, okay, so while there's a little bit of downtime, I'll just say my biggest concern with Game 2, just going back to it a little bit, because this game is pretty self-explanatory right now. The biggest thing was he saw the siege tank count and still stuck on this drop play, the sort of Ultralisk Marine, or Ultralisk Marine, yeah, Ultralisk Marine, Ultralisk Infestor combination. And I thought that was a little bit risky against mass tanks. You want to go a more air-centric army, which is the Broodlords and whatnot. And it does look like we started game number 3 yet again, so let's go ahead and jump into that. As you can see, Zerglings has cleaned up everything. And Rainbow on the deficit currently, and we're still experiencing a little bit of lag.
Yep, hopefully this clears up here, but Rainbow's got to be careful. I think this is airtight.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Because there is a lot of Zerglings outside his door, and that's the reaction I think
it might not
wanted.
be, actually. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay, I didn't know where that barracks position was. It's sometimes hard to see the grid on this map.
Yeah.
But Sheth, off of this, he's looking really nice. If we can go to the income tab, 25 drones to his opponent's 19. And of course, the second command center is quite late in relativity. But there are 2 gas up already. And if Rainbow kind of does what he's been doing the last times, which is massing up and not attacking whatsoever, he's going to be looking not in terrible position, as siege tanks are super effective on this map.
Well, I mean, one of the dangers for Sheth is that this map is really good for turtley play.
Yeah.
There are so many positional spots where if you stick some tanks up there, if you have a couple bunkers, I feel like it becomes almost invincible. And that's something Sheth has to be looking for, because not every map is made for high aggression. You have to be, I mean, well, okay, you have to have like timed high aggression. Like, okay, he's moving to take that third, because if you look, the third is a bit of a stretch for either way. I mean, if you take the mid left, if you take the bottom right, both of those are not defensible by just simply, you know, expanding your national and defending from there. You have to commit to either one. So I think that's going to be the high point of contention to look for.
Yeah, I have to agree. Also, a second factory is going up for Rainbow, so not sure what Rainbow has in store just yet. It could be Hellion Mass Marine, because we do see 4 barracks out for ST Rainbow. So he has a lot of choices. He could be going tank, he could be going Hellion, and we do see tank. I think that's the better choice for sure, as tanks are, the AoE is much better in the closed positions. But, I mean, Sheth is sitting pretty nicely. If we can see, the saturation is ridiculously strong. 46 drones to Rainbow's 26, and just keeps piling on.
Yeah, I would be curious to see if this is like a... I mean, it's 4 barracks, 2 factory already. We're not seeing a starport. Combat shield is first in the upgrade here. I'd wonder if this is some kind of faster timing with that second factory. Like if the guy, being Sheth obviously, ends up wanting to go Spire, if these tanks show up at that clip before the Spire time, that's really problematic. Now, of course, I'm going to hold back on that analysis because we do have Roaches going down, actually. Roaches coming out, rather.
Big scan.
And a couple Spore Crawlers as well, so playing super safe from Sheth.
And Sheth is known for his theoretically sound play. He is a bit aggressive sometimes, but I like that spore crawling, the spore crawler play yet again. And now we can see siege tank getting into position, shells out a little bit on those Zerglings, and Rainbow is finally going to be able to take his expansion. And I think this 2 factories is gearing up just for a huge mid-game timing push. And he's going to look to end the game ASAP. As you said before, getting a third is really problematic, as we saw in the TLO versus Morrow game. Very problematic for our Terran players.
Yeah, a little bit of stuttering lag again. It's interesting because we did not have any lag in the first 2 games, so I wonder if it's some kind of graphic on this map is specifically giving Rainbow a tough time. He had this last week. On this map specifically, again, it was not laggy in the game before, so got to look towards that X factor, and right now that's Rainbow, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but hopefully it doesn't influence the game. No one wants that. Again, both factors producing tanks pretty heavily here. And I feel like the timing, well, okay, I mean, if the Zerg's going to oblige him and just go Roach, he's going to be really sad when he sees that the guy's actually been producing mass tanks. And I feel bad because I feel like Sheth actually might be massing up for that kind of big Roach-Ling, Baneling timing type of thing.
Yeah. We do see he is unsieging. Looks like he wants to push out right now. There is a good creep spread for Sheth. That should be the timing for him to start getting his Banelings. We do see a lot of Banelings being output right now, and by a lot I mean 3, but we're going to see more, I'm positive, as he needs some way to deal with this this incoming push. And now we can see
pack.
Ooh, this is really risky for Rainbow.
He has no stem, so this is actually a one-way mission. Without that stem, especially on creep, you cannot avoid those Banelings, which now do have speed. And a little bit of a split. The Zerglings alone are going to be enough to move forward and go ahead and collapse this. And this is just another one of those really terrible attacks. Like, I wish I could put it another way, but really, it just gets swatted.
Yeah, Rainbow
never stood a chance.
Blundered really hard. And now I think this counterattack, if he chooses to do so, Sheth would be in a great position. He has taken his top left expansion. Nope, looks like he's just going to take another expansion, taking the gold expansion. Of course, he doesn't want to lose his lead. But he has to be careful. That's the crossroads
you come at. When you win a fight like that, you either attack to finish the game,
or you macro,
or you expand. Yeah. That's what you do with that advantage. And the safer one in most situations is expanding. When you attack, you're putting it on the line, because if that attack fails, it kind of stabilizes, equalizes. Yes. So I got to hand it to Sheth, but it looks like he actually might be wanting to do a little bit of both. Army moving to this right side is geared up to do kind of almost a Kyrix type thing. I would like to see more Banelings again. It's only 3. He's not going to go for it.
No.
I'd like to see more Banelings. Sheth,
he is going to go for it. As the Zerglings move in, all going on one tank, I don't like that, but there are more units streaming in from the top. And it looks like Rainbow going to lose this fight as he has to pull off all of these SCVs onto this bunker, repairing it. But still, I don't think that Rainbow has enough, because even going on further, he pulls them all off. That's a huge blunder.
Nobody's fine.
And nope. Sheth was like, "Yep, it's good. You can keep your bunker.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna go. All right, I'm just gonna."
A good exchange for Sheth, though. Absolutely. I mean, what it did was it thinned out the army of Rainbow, so that now Rainbow can't take a third, even if he wanted to. He could try as he might, but he just doesn't have the military force, and Sheth can lean on him, essentially. And I use that term to mean that basically he doesn't have to win an overwhelming fight. He just has to outproduce Rainbow. And that might be exactly what he's doing. Morphing a lot of Banelings at the top of this plateau. It has been found, but again,
the Banelings come in.
Doesn't have the ability. Here come the Banelings, and they're pushing through onto the tanks. And at this point, a lot of you are like, Banelings on tanks? That's not a good idea. But he's actually so far ahead, it doesn't even really matter. Yeah. It's now just down to the 1 tank and like 7 Marines to his name. Meanwhile, Sheth is looking to saturate the high yield.
Yeah. I mean, again, Sheth keeps getting these very advantageous battles. We can look at the units lost tab. They're even. And Sheth isn't used to that. So he's like, hey, I can take even more expansions than normal.
Yep.
And that's why we see such a rapid growth of expansions. And not only that, he's sticking on this Zergling Baneling Roach. And I would like to see Mutas come out of this, but really, I think Sheth is in a position where he's pretty free to do a lot of stuff. Now SCV sees, finally, that this gold expansion is taken. Rainbow cannot be happy whatsoever. He knows he has to push out. And here we go. 4 siege tanks. 2. And I think this army is even just about as big, actually, as the last one.
Yeah, and these Lings with their 1-1 upgrades, it's just too much. They just get inside the range of that tank, and they either incur friendly fire, or they're just not even taking shots because they're able to just get right inside the tanks.
Oh, huge fungal growth. Takes out most of those Marines, and keep in mind, those Marines have 0, count them, 0 medevacs around them. Now Baneling's getting into position, and it's just tearing through everything that Rainbow has.
I wish I could make this more exciting, but to be honest, it's Rainbow sending out units, then getting swatted, and then that's it. And it looks like this might be the GG. Sheth pushing forward, some Roche Defestarians do go down. It's down to this last bunker. That too will get collapsed. A single Marine side of it sniped. And Rainbow, unfortunately, continuing his woes in this tournament and also on this map specifically. He's going to go ahead and try to make a final stand at the top of this ramp, but it's physically impossible.
Yeah.
Sheth is just going to go ahead and bring in more units. He does not have a fungal. In fact, he's not going to have infestors here in a moment. But wow. Congrats to Sheth. I mean, 2-1 over another top player. He will be 2-0 in this group. And Rainbow, I feel like he's unfortunately stealing the limelight a little bit. Played amazingly in that first game. And even in the second game. He actually really did a good job pushing this to the limit. But he will fall 1-2.
Yeah, more units are just going to stream in. There's no way. And GG coming out from Rainbow, ... as well. And Sheth's going to take that 2-1 as he said.
Had a little bit of lag after it. That's weird.
No. But, you know, it's unfortunate. Rainbow, the superstar player that he is, falling 0-2 already in this series, in the entire North American Star League. And week 3, he really needs to step up his game. I mean, his first 2 matches, there might have definitely that last match. The lag cleared up, thankfully.
No, let's say this a little bit about it, because it's a quick response. Everyone says lag equals why Korean lost. I can say definitively, watching these games, the Marine micro was immaculate in the first 2 games. It was choppy in game 3, but there was no lag, and then all those Marines died. It did not happen at a crucial time. We paused it when it was getting a little bit out of hand. When we came back, there was a couple hiccups, but for the most part, it was steady and even. Sheth beat Startail Rainbow today. And I don't want to hear too many excuses about it, because Rainbow was on his A game. He played fantastic in that first game and pretty good in that second game. But Sheth just simply outplayed him in game 2 and 3.
I couldn't agree more, and that's going to do it for Sheth against Rainbow. 2-1 up on him. We're going to be moving directly into the next match before a short break.
Thank you very much.